Welcome to our session. This is going to be a fun one today because we're going to be talking about individual style and personalities. Sort of like this banner behind me, there's a DNA helix, which is really what you are, who you are, how you're put together. It's that unique you that makes you so special. Everyone is unique, and everyone is a 10 somewhere. The more you understand the characteristics of your own individual style, the more aware you'll be of others. This is so helpful in ministry. Our goal in being more in tune or aware with our own personal style is so that we can better measure up to God's plan for us. It's not to compete or to compare with others. We live in a nation where everything is competing and comparing. There's a story of two people. They were just throwing Frisbee in a park, and there was an elderly gentleman watching from a distance who had never seen this Frisbee saucer flying back and forth, and he watched for about 30 minutes. And then he came over to one of the guys and said, "I've been watching you for 30 minutes, this game. Now tell me, which one of you is winning?" Sometimes we do things just for fellowship, but we have it so ingrained in our mind that someone has to be better than, someone less than, someone higher than, someone lower than. In doing church as a team, every one of us is a 10 somewhere. Let me read from Doing Church as a Team. And it says this: each of us has a unique temperament reflected in what we usually call our personality or individual style. Some of us are more extroverted than others. Some are more introverted. Some are very structured, and others spontaneous. The more you understand the way that God created you, the better you can cooperate with it. When it comes to individual style, the first thing you have to remember is this. Here it is, number one, personal style is God-given. That's right, it's God-ordained. God gave you, your temperament, the way that you are, your individual style. Let's go back to Psalm 139 where David drives this home. It'll come up on the screen, so let's read it together. Read it with me, would you? "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." What was David saying when he said, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made"? You know what that means? To me anyway, it means that I don't have to apologize for being created the way that I've been created. Nope, God designed me this way on purpose. That's right. You aren't meant to be like anybody else. You are 1 in 7 billion, and there's only one of you. But let's pause and break down your individual style into practical terms. Here are some of the elements of your individual style, and as we go through some of these, I encourage you to answer the questions in your head and take some notes, and maybe you can share it with your spouse or close friend later. But let's take a look at some elements of your individual style. For example, how are you energized? Are you a task-oriented person or a people-oriented person? See, if you're task-oriented, you're energized by accomplishing a task that will serve people. However, if you're a people-oriented person, you're more energized by dealing with people who are a part of that task. You're more focused on relationships and how are you doing in the midst of this. Now, both the task-oriented person and the people-oriented person both love people, and they both value relationships. I'm not saying that if you're task-oriented, you don't love people or don't value relationships. Yeah, you do. And I'm not saying that if you're a people-oriented person that you don't value tasks and getting things done. You don't have a bias for action. No. These individuals only differ in their means of achieving an outcome. Let me say that again. Both of these, they appreciate and value people. They only differ in the way they carry these things out. That's it. You'll be more energized when you can serve in a position that reflects your individual style. So don't fight against it. Just cooperate with it. And here's a second element that we might want to discuss. How are you organized? Are you structured or unstructured? I can already tell some of you are already cringing while others of you are getting excited just by the word organized. Like you're saying, I just love getting organized with Marie Kondo. That's the kind of person you are. You love those movies or those shows, and it just gets you going. However, unstructured individuals have no idea who Marie Kondo is. So there you go. You prefer variety, options, and flexibility in your activities. Structured individuals are just the opposite. They prefer a detailed, planned, and orderly program or lifestyle, and you will not in any way move away from that. You can't go to the left or to the right. We've got to stick with this. Now, being unstructured is not a bad thing. Both unstructured and structured individuals value being organized. They only differ in their approach to it all. Now, for example, I come from a very structured background. My father raised me in a military lifestyle. My socks were folded in a certain way. My underwear is folded in a certain way. And if you take a look at my drawer, everything is folded, everything is organized. Not in every area of my life, mind you, but for the most part, I like organization. Now, Anna is very unstructured. She likes relationships. I recall one day, it must have been 3 days after we had gotten married, we had a nice dinner, and I was sitting in the living room, and I was reading a book, and my wife started washing dishes, and I heard the clitter and the clatter, and then she came running out, wiping her hands on a towel. She sat next to me and said, "So how's the book?" And I looked at her, and I said, "Boy, that was quick, you washed those dishes." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Did you dry them and put them away?" She said, "Oh, no, they're just in the drain rack." I said, "Oh, no, you don't leave them in the drain rack. You finish what you start." She said, "What? We always left it in the drain rack." I said, "Oh, no, you need to finish it off. So go ahead and wipe out the dishes and put them away, and then come on in." And she looked at me like I had just punctured her with an ice pick. She said, "What?" And I thought she was about to cry, but I thought, this is how it is, right? Get organized, girl. Finish what you start. And then I realized her individual style and mine were very different. And we have to learn how to work with each other. Otherwise, we might pressure one another too much. There is no right way or wrong way when you're talking about personality. There's not a right personality or wrong one. Everyone's made differently. The faster you can identify your own individual style and others' own individual style, the easier it will be to work together because you understand each other, and there's no right or wrong. This brings us to our third point. Discovering your individual style will help you understand others. You see, you'll find that maybe you're more of a driver while someone else is more passive, and it doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. For example, someone else may be highly relational while another is highly task-oriented. When you think about it, we really do need each other because one's going to encourage and prompt us in our weaker areas, and they need us to prompt them in theirs. It's sort of like Legos. Now, you can have one Lego that has protrusions and another has inclusions. One advances, another retreats in the way that they're made, but doesn't mean one Lego is better than the other. One block is more important than the other. In fact, here it is. When you fit them both together, because they do fit, you end up with a strength far greater than just one of those blocks. And if you keep doing that, without comparing or judging, you just keep building on it and fitting them together, you can build castles. And that's how it is with gifts. We just get to build on each other, and one is not better than the other. We need everyone just the same. But you'll need to find out what your gift is and how you would fit. And make sure that you're learning or growing in Christ so that you learn to fit with character and attitude and grace. Without it, you won't even try. In your booklets, you'll find a personality assessment at the end of this lesson. Can you read through that? Read through the different questions and answers and answer them as honestly as you can. Don't answer based on how you think others would expect you to respond. This is for you to better understand your God-given personality. And once you're done, take a minute or two to share your findings with your spouse or a close friend. Remember, the whole purpose is for you to better understand God's design and where you fit and how you fit with others, so together as a team, you can fulfill the purposes of God, because everyone is a 10 somewhere, and that includes you, because you're part of God's design.